I'm still getting used to having this
Yeah,
functionality.
power.
Yeah, this power, the power of a premium Zoom subscription.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're not hindered by the time limit.
No, no, it's crazy. We'll see
Talk and
how long it
talk,
lasts.
talk
But
and talk and talk. Yeah.
yeah, what a treat.
Yeah.
You're welcome, everyone. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is Ellen Explains It All. If you're not aware or haven't read the title of this video, this is the talk show where I ask your questions to our executive director, Amanda Chin. And this is a very special episode of Ellen Explains It All. I was just telling Amanda that I realized this is episode 12, which means it has been 1 year of Ellen Explains It All, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Time is such an illusion.
And you're still explaining it all.
And I'm still explaining it all. Well, it all
Much to
is a
explain.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All is
Uh
forever.
yeah, all is all.
Yeah. Good thing you got
Well,
that premium Zoom.
yeah, yeah. Now I can really explain it all.
Really can. You really can.
Before we get started, I like to ask Amanda a little warm-up cue. And for this episode, I wanted to ask Amanda, how do you stay cool in the summer?
Ugh.
I stay inside. That's how I stay cool in the
I
summer.
mean, I used to stay inside, but I have a dog now and she has
Mm,
needs. Well, one thing I do is I have this living room, which you can see right here
mm,
behind me. It's like a big open
beautiful.
room. And I have one air conditioner. It's like a portable air conditioner that
Mm,
like is just a unit, looks like a little robot. And it's just me and the dog. So I just have it pointed at the seat I'm sitting in right now, and I
mm.
call it the blast zone. And like as long as I'm sitting in this particular seat, it feels really, really good because
Yeah,
it's not quite powerful enough to like cool off the whole apartment.
yeah.
So that's one of the ways I stay cool, I guess.
Nice. I have a very similar method
Yeah,
of staying cool. This
yeah.
year especially, it's been a little bit more difficult than usual to avoid heat
Absolutely.
stroke.
And it's only July. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and Lucy has figured out the blast zone. So when we come in from a walk, we like fight over the spot.
Oh my God. My cats are kind of the same way. My AC unit is like right next to my desk right here. Oops.
Mhm.
You might be able to hear it. And the cats are always in my chair. And I'm
Yeah,
like, nope, I gotta work. You
yeah.
gotta move, which they
Um,
don't like. I
yeah,
also don't like that I have to work. So
yeah.
I get it. Alrighty. So the topic for this very special episode of Ellen Explains It All, it became very special 5 minutes ago when I realized it was the year anniversary. But to celebrate, we're doing an AMA with Amanda, otherwise known as an Ask Me Anything. You might remember we did one of these with Riva a while back, and we're doing it again, but with Amanda. Keeping it nice and broad and fun and exciting. As always, if I skip your question, it was probably a repeat or more relevant to a future episode. And in the same vein, if your question was reworded, that was for logistical reasons. There's never any tea or any shade here on Ellen Explains It All. And we got so many great questions for this episode. I was a little blown away. So if you're ready, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
All right, question one. I've heard the phrase rehearsal report. What exactly goes in that? How much do you read about rehearsals you're not at?
Yeah, so a rehearsal report is what goes in it? Everything. The recipients of it are the creative team members, the production team, and all members of the staff. The folks who probably read it the most on staff are Mackie, our program manager, and Anya, our community liaison, and definitely Savannah, our production manager. There are sections for like lighting needs, prop needs, sets, costumes, like were all the goals accomplished, like who was absent, like who had a disclosed absence, who was
Mm,
had an undisclosed absence, like did we accomplish everything, like really anything that any of the people on the team, the whole team, need to know. So it might be like, hey, we just clocked that we need a dozen number two pencils.
mm,
I don't know. So like that'll go in the props section. So it's really like all the like logistics that like go into putting the show together and making sure they're reported somewhere. If there's an injury, like that'll be noted in the report, and a separate injury report will be um filled out. If there was like a really egregious behavioral
Mhm.
misconduct, like a behavioral misconduct report will be filled out separately and noted in the report. Yeah. There might be like, I'm concerned about this participant, just noting it here, no action needed. Or if there's like an actual question, like it'll be addressed in the report.
Question 2. How does AWT decide which creative team members to rehire? Do you sometimes take a long break from someone and then hire them again?
I mean, if things are going well and they're interested in keeping on going with us, and
Mhm.
interested in how to continue to develop their skills, or like, get more involved in our community and learn from, whatever they've done in the past season, like, yeah, we'll rehire them. If someone just really doesn't seem like they're ever going to be a good fit after, a season that they've worked with us, like, yeah, we might not revisit them unless they come to us and are like, hey, like, let's talk about it. I don't think we've ever said to ourselves, like, we're going to take a long break from this particular person and come back to them. Somebody else might say, like, hey, I'm going to take a little break for a while and come back. But that's really up to them. So,
Mhm.
yeah, if it still feels like a cultural match, and like we're really big on development and like
Mhm.
investing in our creative team members. So as long as everyone's still game to do that, like we want to do that.
That's one of the things I love about AWT is the investment in growth.
Yes,
Love
yes.
that. How much does participant feedback in mid or postseason surveys affect the future hiring process for creative team members? So related. I'm so good at grouping the related
So
questions.
good. It's almost as if you read the questions and then put them in an order that makes.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
crazy.
I would not say I would reframe. I'm going to reframe like where this
Mhm.
question is coming from, and I would say like the surveys affect how we like what's the word I'm like how like it affects the development of the creative team member. So like
Mhm.
it'll affect like, oh, like we need to talk to this person about X, Y, and Z. Like I think they could really benefit from like some coaching on that topic. If there's something the creative team member is doing that would prevent them, that would mean like, oh, they're really like not a good fit at all and like really shouldn't be asked back. My hope is that we don't find out about it in a survey. Like my hope
Yeah.
is that we have found out about it in a rehearsal report or in like a more direct contact. So I would say like this, like we're not about like let's find out the tea and then punish the people that need to be
Yeah.
doing it. Like we and if I'm being honest, like we read a lot of surveys, or I actually don't read them. I hear about them, and Riva and Mackie like read a lot of surveys that are not really in the spirit of like growth. And
Mhm.
like there's very, very legitimate feedback in a lot in most surveys, but like there are also many that like don't really give grace to and like don't give consideration to the fact that like we're talking about human beings. Like if someone's filling out a survey with the hope that like we'll fire that person, like that is
Yeah.
not really something we're going to respond to.
Yeah. Totally.
Makes sense.
Totally get that. Is it okay to request to be in the ensemble in the pre-launch day form for a main stage musical?
Ellen, what do you think the answer to that is?
Absolutely not. Not okay. You're cut from the show and never
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
asked back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I think it's probably okay.
It's more than okay.
Yeah.
Like we love to see things like that. Yeah, it's absolutely okay. It's absolutely to say, wonderful to say like, what are your hopes and dreams for this season?
Mhm.
Like, and by that, we never mean like I want to play this part, but like I'd love to be dancing a lot. I'd love to be singing a lot. Like, please don't ever give me a harmony line.
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff is really fair game to put on the forms and like are things that can only help the creative team. They just want you to be happy. Like
Mhm.
they just want you to have fun. So like please let them know like some parameters that will
Yeah.
help you have fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. This next question is a fun one.
Oh,
During your tenure as executive director, what production surprised you in a positive way?
what production surprised me in a positive way? The answer is many. Gosh, I'm getting so old. Like I can only go back to recent memory. I thought 13 was
Mm,
so funny. And
yeah.
it was hilarious to do it with adults. And I've
Yeah.
never seen it before. And I was like, I never want to see this with kids. Like, I
Yeah.
only ever want to see it with like 30-year-olds. And I didn't know what to expect. We were coming off of like the first year where I really wasn't involved in programs. I went in as unknowing as possible. And
Mhm.
like, I was just very, very pleasantly surprised by how delightful it was.
Yeah, one of the days I was ushering a lady that was a part of another show happening in the space, like stopped in and she was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" And I was like, "It's 13, but like everyone in it is 30, like is an adult." And she got such a kick out of that.
Yeah.
She was like, "I'm obsessed with that." And
Yeah.
it really worked in a way I was not expecting. What is your ideal AWT fundraiser? Are you open to fundraising and event pitches?
Absolutely. 100%. I have always okay, my nephew is in the Boy Scouts. I think he's like about to be Eagle Scout. I don't know. He's gone pretty far.
Yeah.
And I have been to a few when he was like more of a little guy. I've
Mhm.
been to quite a few pancake breakfasts and
Oh,
spaghetti
yeah.
dinners where like they like use like, the Knights of Columbus like rec room and kitchen and
Hmm.
they make pancakes or they make spaghetti and all the Boy Scouts like serve it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to do a pancake breakfast or something like that. It can be, and someone was like, and we're adults, like we can add mimosas, and like look for volunteers in the community and invite our friends and family to come and we serve them pancakes and do that as a fundraiser. So that's been my dream for a
Hmm.
few years because my nephew is now 17 and he's not such a little guy. But yeah, that's one of my dream fundraisers.
Yeah. My question is, if we are doing a pancake breakfast and we're serving people, can we be in costume? Because that would get
Disney
me to show
World.
up.
Like it's Disney World, but like
Yeah.
any costume. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
We did
mean,
that
yeah.
in college once for a children's theater I did, and we served all the kids and
Oh, that's cute.
yeah, I was the villain in that show, so they were all scared of me.
Yeah.
So, typecast.
Well, I mean, can you imagine a SpongeBob pancake breakfast?
Oh, I'd be there so quickly. I'd
Yeah.
be
Yeah. Would you be
sign me
serving
up.
or would you be eating?
Can I do both? I'll take a shift serving and then come
Yeah.
back in like an hour.
Yeah. Great. Great.
Yeah. If a show doesn't sell as expected, low participation or low ticket sales, how does that impact future show choices? This isn't a question about budget, it's a question about how you and the team measure success, what information you infer. Example, if you look at 13, do you assume main stages are not doing well or niche titles? Majority new creative teams, advertising, just the abundance of choice that season? This example isn't a knock on 13. It was great, by the way. True, it was great.
It was, and I just said it was. It's a great question, and I will like use that season as an example. Like, yeah, we knew going in, we knew, registration was low. We knew it would trickle down into ticket sales. We also knew like the participants were probably going to have a really great time being in a really small cast. We knew like having a very new creative team, they were going to have a slightly easier time with fewer people. So there were like pros and cons, and the question is like it's not really a budget thing, so like yeah, there are answers that are not budget things either. I will say like we looked a lot at that season and the performance and we saw that like the overall number of people registered into a show that season was comparable with previous seasons. So like
Mhm.
there were three shows instead of two, and the number of people who were participating were split up into three shows
Mhm.
instead of two. And I think the title, like having to play kids as adults, isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
So there is an aspect of that, but I also will say like I thought it was such a cute show and it was such a good show and there were people who had a really good time. And I think there's something about like when we did the very first dance out, I
Mhm.
don't remember. I think it was like 27 people were signed up. It was a brand new program. So like 13, it was like as the question states, like a niche program. Word gets around,
Yeah.
like when there's new creative team members, like word gets around about like whether people do or do not want to work with them again. So I would say it did teach us about like I think maybe we like had a few too many programs that season.
Hmm.
If not like the whole like that whole 6 month period, because I think there were like six performance programs in 6 months. So if anything, it taught us that, and we made those types of adjustments for next year. And just, I mean, it sounds like we made like drastic cuts to the programming. We cut one performance program,
Yeah.
but we do think it'll make a difference.
Related. Will there be a main stage musical in each season this year? Or maybe next year? I don't know if this means this year or next year.
I'm going to take it to mean the fiscal year because that's how
Ah,
my brain operates. That might not be what they meant, but that's how I'm going to
yeah.
answer it. And the answer is no. That's the program we cut. I'm just pulling open a document and I'm just going to say what we're doing or
Okay.
what we currently have budgeted for each season. It doesn't, it, as everybody knows, things are always subject to change.
Mhm.
So we are doing a main stage musical in the fall as well as a sing out. In the winter, we are doing a play,
Oh,
a dance out,
nice.
and something called a showcase.
Oh,
Details TBD.
ooh, that's
Um,
exciting.
yes. And in the spring, we're doing a musical and a boot camp.
Okay. Ooh, a spring boot camp. I kind of love that.
Spring boot camp. And we're doing lots of classes. So no musical in the winter season.
Hmm. Okay. Awesome. Good to know. Are there any requirements if someone is interested in being a dance captain? When selecting a dance captain for a main stage musical, is preference usually given to ensemble members over leads due to the responsibilities involved?
You know, I the answer is I don't know the answer to that
Hmm.
because like we really put it in the director and choreographer's hands to decide. But that being said, like we do give them parameters, and
Hmm.
like the parameters are sort of like driven by our values and our mission statement. So the parameters really shouldn't come as any surprise to them, but like we want people who will be good leaders in the room, not necessarily like the best dancers. We
Hmm.
want like it's our desire that it's not always the same people chosen. It's our desire that like it be really clear like who the dance captains are and like what responsibilities they've been given and like also like what responsibilities they're not given. And as long as like we convey those parameters to our creative teams or to our choreographers, like we trust them. Well, we trust that they will, make good decisions.
Hmm.
I don't, in terms of like ensemble or not ensemble, like I don't really know the answer to that. Like I imagine it just depends on what the show is. But like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're trying to pick people who are actually in the numbers that they're trying to
Hmm.
dance captain.
You kind of just did this, but would it be possible to announce at least two upcoming shows at the same time, i.e., fall and winter musical or spring and fall, etc.? I've been running into the trouble of whether or not I should register for SpongeBob since I just did 13 and wanted a break to avoid burnout. But I know that I'll be full of regret if it turns out that I'm not interested in what the spring/winter musical is.
Hmm.
Sorry, I butchered the end of that question, but I got the point across.
Yeah. The answer is we don't usually know what the shows are far in advance for
Mhm.
us to announce two at a time. We have no other reason why we wouldn't. There's no like strategic reason. We're not trying to withhold for like marketing
Yeah.
purposes. We'd love to, but like it's right getting rights takes a really long time. The only place where it might like be possible is like planning the winter and the spring season like almost have to happen at the same time because
Hmm.
the turnover is so fast. It like literally it's like one show ends and then like launch day is like 5 days later.
Yeah.
So like maybe we'd be able to announce those at the same time, but like probably not at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Like it would be like one and then another like 2 weeks later. But yeah, but the show types, like
Yeah.
I just said them. So
Yeah. Now you
someone
know.
write them down and tell your friend.
Yeah, someone started text chain.
I'm sure it's already somehow
Oh,
already been created, even though we haven't posted
for
this yet.
sure. I haven't heard it yet, so I hope it hasn't been, because then I'm out of the loop.
Yeah. Yeah, are the loop.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. I have to get up and t get my dog to stop chewing on the rug. Stop it. Be a good girl. Okay, here's Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. Welcome. Welcome to set. Is it possible that when shows are announced, it is included in the announcement whether or not it will have an apprenticeship and or the positions that are available for said show? It would be nice to know that our submissions on the Google form won't end up living in the void.
They won't end up living in the void. We do, in this month we have a changeover in our program
Hmm.
managers, as we've announced a few times.
Hmm.
So I will acknowledge, like, we're a little in flux right now, but we're very, very invested in our apprenticeship program. I think that's probably possible. I don't know if it would happen like right when we announce it, but like because it takes time to like like if we announce the show and like let's say we don't have the whole creative team, it really just depends on like, oh, do we have a creative team member who like would work like do good work like mentoring an
Hmm.
apprentice. Yeah, it's our I think the question was phrased in a way that isn't really the question. The question is like the apprentice program will live on.
Yeah.
And we're very, very invested in it.
Another fun one. What was your favorite show to participate in here at AWT? What was your favorite to see that you did not also participate in? And for both, what made those programs so special?
I really enjoyed, I mean, I know I'm gonna answer the question and people are really like, well, why didn't you say my show? I so again, I'm gonna reach into recent history and pull out whatever comes in. I loved Cinderella. I
Mm,
absolutely loved Cinderella. I thought it was a beautiful show. I thought the choreography was beautiful.
yeah.
I thought the people looked like they were having so much fun. I had friends involved in it, and I was really proud of like the work they did, both on stage and behind the scenes. And I also just like kind of really like watching shows at that theater, the wacky little theater.
Yeah.
Um,
It's quirky.
it's quirky, and it's fun to see shows there. I enjoyed being in Footloose.
Okay.
Also at the same theater. That was actually the first show we ever did at that theater, the reason why we were there is because the theater we were supposed to be at canceled on us like a week before tech,
Oh,
and we were so mad. And I was not really I was working for the company, but I was not the person in charge of like finding theaters. But the previous ED like called me one night and I was at like a pre-rehearsal dinner with like a bunch of AfterWork Theater people, and he was like, "Are you alone?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Are you with AfterWork Theater people?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Can you go outside?" And I was like,
oh no.
and he was like, "Our theater canceled on us. We have no theater." And so he and the his assistant at the time, like they sent out like 50 to 100 emails to theaters, and this was the only one that was
Wow.
available. So the Theater for the New City has a very special place in my heart
Yeah.
for a lot of for those reasons.
Goodness. That's so scary.
Yeah. But anyway, that was a very fun show. I played an adult. I played the
Mm,
mom, and she was the wife of the preacher, and
mm,
so it was kind of fun to be around like people, giving off high school energy, but I also didn't have to do that.
yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun show, and I made some really good friends in that show.
Yeah. Afterwork used to do open mics prior to the pandemic. Could that or something similar, for example, a 54 Below show slash fundraiser, potentially come back? This was before my time, so I don't know anything about
Yeah,
this.
I would love to. It really just
Mhm.
takes like we had a volunteer who, I mean, well, we paid her a little bit, but let's say she was a volunteer who really ran that for us, and it did a really great
Mm.
job. It's just a little out of like the purview of like our very small staff's abilities and bandwidths. But I would love that. I love community things like that. And also stay tuned for information on what the showcase is.
Yeah,
So
I
that,
had a feeling.
yeah.
Are there any new goals AWT is aiming to focus on this year?
Fundraising goals. I gotta get my button gear. More classes, more
Mm,
AWTU. This past year, like I don't know if anyone noticed, but like after the big P, we didn't really ramp up AWTU very quickly.
Mhm.
It wasn't like it was budgeted that way. Like it wasn't really a priority because we just really needed to focus on getting like programming off the ground. And then this last year was when we really like put a budget together for AWTU, and Riva, as our new program manager at the time, like really got AWTU back on its feet. And I really give them a lot of credit for that. And so like I want to continue ramping that up with more classes and more like specialty classes.
Mhm.
So be on the lookout for like one-time workshops for like very specific, like kind of fun theater type what topics. I don't know if is a word. That's a word. So yeah, to ramp up AWTU again is
Yeah,
another goal in addition to fundraising.
love that. I loved the directing class, so I would love to see
Yeah,
more of that. We're ending with the best question. It wasn't me. I
it
promise I did
wasn't.
not submit this question. No, this was
Wow.
not me.
Okay.
But Dreamcast Ellen in a role. Go rapid fire.
Okay, it's not going to be rapid fire because first of all, I knew the question ahead of time. It's the only one I had to like prepare for myself. And okay, so first and foremost, the role that popped into my head immediately for whatever reason was Eugene Morris Jerome in Brighton Beach Memoirs. I don't know why.
I do not know that show. But
There's a really good movie you can go
okay.
check.
Okay, what is
And then I
Brighton
was
Beach
like, okay,
Memoirs?
but let me like really think about this question. And I was like, I know, here's the funny thing about me. I don't know musical theater the way people think I like there are people way more well versed in theater and musical
Mhm.
theater in this community than me. And I fully own that. So I went to one of my friends who I feel is very well versed, and I asked her this question. I didn't tell her why I was asking it. And this person is Molly Shoemaker. I,
Yeah.
I I text her, I go, who are some musical theater characters who are the archetypical sane person amidst a group of wacky characters? Because that's what I feel like where you could really excel, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and she goes, like Michael on Arrested Development, but
Hmm.
musical? And I said, yes. And here's what she has to offer.
Okay.
Princeton and Avenue Q,
Okay.
Bobby and Company,
Okay.
and in a way, Man in Chair in Drowsy.
Okay. I'll take it. I just looked up the first one you said.
Yeah.
I would love to be 15 and playing baseball. And
Yeah. 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 In the movie, I was about to say Matthew Broderick, but no, he was in Biloxi Blues, the same character, but later on. I think he was played by Jonathan Silverman.
yes, I have it
Okay.
pulled up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good movie.
Cool.
And it's a good
All
play.
right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Viewers, your thoughts? Enter
Oh,
in the
my
comments below.
thoughts. Oh, yeah. Everyone Dreamcast me. I want to see
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
won't be offended. I might be offended. No, I won't be offended. Cool. Well, those were all of our community questions.
Fantastic.
Do you have a Mythbusters?
Oh God, you know I never do. You know I always think of them like in the off season. And
Yeah.
then when we come back to film, the Mythbuster is there is never a bigger room available. If you
I
want
love,
to know
yes.
why, oh, don't throw up.
Oh
Oh,
no.
if you want to know why we don't have a bigger room, it's because there wasn't one available.
Yeah.
And also the rooms that we have are fine. They're only too
Yeah.
small if you make them too small or believe they're too small. They're fine. They
Yeah.
might be too warm,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're not big enough.
Cool.
That's my Mythbuster.
And you know what? I believe you.
Yeah,
Space is hard.
space is hard. Space is really hard. Are you encountering that? You are venturing into your own theater production. Like,
Yeah.
how are you finding space? I mean, I know you only have to work with 6 people also.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's that.
Luckily it's a very small group of people, which was intentional. For space reasons
Yeah,
mostly. But I don't know. I've been trying to get creative looking at like alternative places I can like go rehearse.
yeah,
Like I know like the obvious one everyone always does like goes to Ripley, but they're so expensive. So I've been like looking at in the same area there are like other studios that will rent out space for like $20 an hour rather
yeah.
than 45. And I also friend of the pod, Christy Sato Thompson, is letting us use her design studio to rehearse in
Oh,
for one of our rehearsals.
yeah, that's
So
great.
networking.
Networking. Have
Ugh,
you heard
I hate
about
it.
like how people, it's mostly dance groups use
Mm.
Penn Station?
Oh my
There's
good. Wait,
there's
that's
like
crazy.
there's like an area of Penn Station. It's like a long hallway.
Mhm.
I mean, I think it's probably where some of the tracks are. And it's
Yeah,
just like dance group, dance group, dance group. It's really fun to see.
that's I've never seen that, but I'm kind of obsessed with that.
I think there's like Molly, of course, told me about it. And then recently I saw an article about it, and I forget where. It might have been the New Yorker, or it might have been something else. But if I find it, I will send it to you.
Yeah, please do. That's really
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well,
Right.
thank you as always, Amanda,
Thank
for
you,
your open and
Ellen.
honest answers.
Always.
And thanks to all of you for submitting these wonderful questions. There was a lot of really good stuff, especially that last one. Whoever submitted that, a genius.
Whoever did. Do you know who
It wasn't,
submitted it?
no, it wasn't me, and I don't know who it was.
Who owns up to it?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll get a text message after this.
But that's the
Goes,
spirit of the AMA that I'm really into.
yeah.
I'm like, guys, you could literally ask me anything. You want to ask me about the budget? Come on, ask
Really?
anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. I
Thank you,
never know how
Ellen.
to end these. It's
Yeah,
tradition at this point. So,
absolutely. Well, thank you,
bye.
Ellen. Bye.
Ellen explains it all.